Welcome to Bar Banter Chicago. We are at the third floor studio above O'Callahan's Pub at 29 West Hubbard, right here in Chicago. With me is not only a coworker, but she's also a person very interesting. So this is Issy Hung is her stage name. So welcome.
That is my government name.
I guess that's the question. Issy Hung.
Mm-hmm. I'm no size queen. I'm just curious.
Issy, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
First things first, let's just get to the obvious. What's that growing out of your head?
It is actually growing out of my scalp. Okay, you got me. They ran out of the ones that were growing out of my scalp, so I had to get the little clippies. So they are little clippies coming out of my cute little head. I have some on the back here, and I found them on the internet. And
okay, great.
They're very nice for setting my curls, my very natural curly hair.
I've lost interest already.
Oh my Lord!
What's that?
Yeah, okay. I actually did learn about this. Apparently at music festivals, it's like somebody will come up to you with one of these.
Okay, so
and be like, "Oh, you're sprouted."
Dominic, our producer and the guy who runs this whole thing, he is big into the EDM scene, and he knows all about that. He knows about sprouts, right, Dom? He does.
I had
know
no idea.
about that.
I mean, I literally just bought them because I thought they were fantastic. I'm very fond of plants.
You look adorbs.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Now, you're like new to this area in O'Callahan's and everything like that.
Yes.
Let's hear, first of all, before we get into like our stories about working together and working separately or just being in the bar scene. Your story, you've been everywhere. You lived in New Orleans for 4 years. You lived in Seattle. You're kind of a nomad.
I mean, wherever I am is home.
Okay.
It's super cheesy. Yeah, my parents moved me around all over the place. I'm not a military kid. My dad was a software engineer, so we went to Seattle in 2004. That was the time to be there. I was born in Minneapolis. I lived there until I was 10 years old. That's where my whole entire family is from. Lived in the Pacific Northwest, really enjoyed it, but never really felt like I had I don't know, I didn't really feel in place there, whatever.
What brought you to Chicago?
My ex, who
you met at in a trailer.
Who I met because he was living in a van outside of my house in New Orleans.
Okay, that's normal.
And he had Washington plates, so that's why I don't know. You don't see Washington plates all that often around New Orleans, so I had a thing where I would like write people notes and be like, "Hi, like say hi to the mountains to me" or some shit. And I mean that in the positive way.
Strike that, yeah.
And I wrote him a note, and he had some posters of Fire Walk with Me and some David Lynch and some wrestling posters in the car. So I left him a note, was like,
well, how can
What's
that
up?
Not be a turn on? Wrestling posters
Well, that's what
in
I'm
a van
saying. I
down
was
by
like,
the
that's
river?
what I mean.
Holy shit. I mean, that's just like, hi, I'm just going to like put them out there for you.
I just wrestling posters and David Lynch, parfait. So yeah, met this asshole. And my parents were living in Oak Park at the time because, I mean, whole other tangent. When I was 17 and living in the Pacific Northwest, my parents moved to Oak Park because they didn't want to live in the Pacific Northwest anymore. So they left me there, and then we're living here. I was in New Orleans. They were up here. I would go up here for Thanksgiving, and my ex fell in love with it, and he got into Columbia.
Okay.
And he... when we met, I was in a terrible, terrible little place mentally. And when we met, despite the huge dickhead that he is, he was like, you need to get into making movies. I had always been a photographer, always been interested in it. And he was like, girl, what are you doing? We got to get you back into the arts.
Okay, so you're into the arts, obviously.
Unfortunately.
Which is hard to believe because when you look at it, you're like, artsy?
It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't like it. I didn't choose this. I did not consent to my existence.
Well, we like you.
Oh my God, thank you.
You seem to be getting along pretty well over here in Chicago at the new place. No?
That's all right. That's, you know what? I am. I'm a pessimist. I'm very, very lucky. I have a very wonderful community of friends, and working here has been very wonderful. I'm very happy at O'Callahan's. And yeah, I work as hard as I can, and been just trying to be a one-woman show for the last
You've been a
8
one-woman
years.
show for the past few weeks in this place since you've been here.
Yeah.
And that's why we had her on, because, like, you never know what she's going to say. And that's kind of fun, too. And also, she likes Malort, and so does LB, and, a lot of people.
I think that was why I got the job.
All right, so you and I have been working together like Mondays and Tuesdays, basically, over the past few weeks.
Indeed.
Today was, let's get into the bar banter. Today was
boy.
Quite the day.
It was a doozy.
You know what it was? It was a loud fucking day is what it was.
Yes.
We had these people coming in the corner, 4 people, nobody else in the bar. It sounded like there were 25 people in the bar.
Oh, my Lord. It really
I mean, I got to a
did.
point where I'm like, I need to step outside for a smoke or something, because I can't listen to these people anymore.
It was almost to the point where somebody needed to say, like, okay, inside voices.
Well, the thing is like this, when they're cackling, like the way they're cackling.
And I love a cackle. I am a cackler.
Yeah.
But it's like when it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon and
No,
nobody
this
else
was
is
at
in
like
the goddamn bar.
1:30.
Yeah.
Okay. And like the thing I said earlier was like, nothing is that funny. Every single time someone says something, like, nothing is that funny.
Yeah.
Where you just have to like put out the
everything.
largest guffaw that you possibly can.
And it was a guffaw.
Yeah.
It put the guff in guffaw.
Yeah. It was bad.
It
Couldn't wait
was
for
a
them
lot.
to leave. Couldn't wait for them to leave. But you know what? I mean, they're customers, they're paying customers, and that's fine. But like, you get to a point where you're like, do you want to
Well,
tab
and
out?
I even had customers that were like these cute folks, bless their hearts, Terry and Jan.
Bless their little heart.
Oh my God. We're sitting there and we were chatting because like floor was empty basically until like 5 o'clock, an hour before we changed over shifts. And poor Jan was jumping like every time.
Every time they were,
laughed.
yeah.
And I was like, it's one point that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a loud, we're in a bar, like it's loud in here or whatever. But yeah, it was like.
But here's the thing where I got them back, because they were annoying the piss out of me. But what I did was I said, have you done a Malort?
Oh,
And-
that was your fault.
Yeah. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, what's Malort? So I explained everything, and like LB could tell you and Dom could tell you that I give a dissertation on Malort that like is like no other. Like
I would like to think that, yeah.
I give them the history of Malort, and then I just tell them it's a rite of passage when you're in Chicago.
You must.
So they do it, and their reaction was just priceless, man. I think the one guy was so mad at me, he wanted to punch me in the throat. I'm not even kidding you. He's like, this is the most disgusting fucking thing I've ever tasted in my life. I said, good.
Oh my Lord.
I said, good. Maybe it'll shut you up.
I mean,
You
put
know,
on
just-
your big girl panties, dude.
What's that, Tom? Oh,
He was English.
Dom says I had. Dom's talking about there. Was that my Southern draw? Was it? I'm like, good. Maybe it'll shut you up. Maybe I was channeling my
That's the
inner
worst
LB.
shit
She's
I've
from
ever
Memphis,
tried
so
in my life.
Right.
Like, yeah, the British accent or something.
and then I went to Scottish. I was like, Bucky. Anyway, so that's one group. So then we're getting through the day, and then this entirely large group of women come in, like 20 women.
No, they literally walked in and said, I was like, how many are y'all going to be? And they said 20. And I said, really? Because we were so slow. I literally thought she was kidding.
No, you got excited. I thought you were going to
for
have to
real?
go back and spend some private time by yourself. I had no idea what was
I
going
was
on. You're
like,
I got
are
a
you
table,
serious?
20 people.
And she was like, yeah, absolutely. We ended up having to move them around. Thankfully, I mean, I directed them to the back of the restaurant where they were going to have to be like half bar, half tables,
Yeah,
which
here's
was
the
such
thing.
a bad move.
If we're going to go forward working together, you don't bring 20 people to the back of the bar.
That's,
okay?
yeah.
Because, I mean, get your shit together, will you please? Because, like, we had 2 people at a table in the pit, which will fit 20 people.
Yeah.
And
One
all
person.
you-
It was one lady.
Yeah, one lady.
in
And
the
I just
pit.
asked them to leave. We'll buy you a drink if we can get all these 20 people down there. So we did. And what do these women do? They order.
Oh,
By the way, Dom, I want to thank you.
These are women.
Dom, the man who runs this entire show, and I just talk.
Women with
Dom
a Y.
is also a mixologist, and he comes up with these cocktails. So we had the vampire margarita. They're great. And then we had the witch's brew, which, by the way, nobody ordered. But
it was a vampire margarita and the jalapeno margarita.
Every cocktail these 20 women ordered was a cocktail. It was a cocktail. I'm working the service bar like a maniac.
I felt sorry.
And you're making the money. I don't understand this.
I mean,
there comes a point where I need to reevaluate my life sometimes.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? You know?
Drama mama. I mean,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to. Yeah, no, because you were busting your butt.
No,
that was
fine.
That was absolutely wild. Like,
it's all good.
And it's like every time I go to the table, like, what else am I supposed to do?
Well,
then get them another drink, because they're just sucking them down.
Yeah, but here's the thing that annoys me about some customers is like you go to the entire group and you say, and anybody who bartends and serves can relate to this. You're like, all right, anybody need anything? No, we're good. I'll do margarita. And then you go get the margarita and you go back like, I'll do a margarita. You're like,
and that's
bitch, you're wasting my steps right now. You know what I mean?
That's what kept on happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have, should have, could have.
Yeah.
Whole round.
Yeah.
Whole round. Whole table. Whole 4 tables. Okay, we're getting another round. Whole 4 tables.
No.
Yeah, getting another round.
No.
But they were, walked in.
I love our customers and I appreciate them coming in, but sometimes it's like, you know what? Why are you so loud? And why can't you just like understand like what this server is going through or what I'm going through mentally, which I don't even understand.
I don't think they understood enough.
I don't want to cry. Just stop.
Oh my God, we can cry a little.
No, I'm okay.
They did not understand enough based on their tip.
Yeah.
Had I been the person in that position who I think probably had a company card, I heard the whispers of, oh, we're expensing this. Like, oh, we're blah, blah, blah. If you're expensing it, you should be giving me a 40% tip.
Well, that's your opinion. But they're only allowed to do 20 if it's on a corporate card. That's kind of the way it goes.
Come on.
Which I think is horseshit, personally.
Put down some cash. Put down some whatever.
Let's talk about. Let me just reel you back in.
Yep.
Let's talk about some. Let's talk about like one of your creepiest times in a bar.
Creepiest time in a bar recently.
I think we know this story. So let me just start this off.
Okay.
So
you know.
Izzy's waiting on these 2 lovely elderly men. And when I say elderly, I mean like they're in their 70s, right?
They're so old that they're like skinny. Or at least one of them was like skinny and like he needed to eat something that like he looked concerned. Like I was like, maybe I should help you down the stairs.
Like nearly emaciated.
And he even said that to me.
Okay.
And yes, he did have Zoolander hair.
Did he give you the blue steel?
I wish.
No? Okay. So anyway, go forward because you're being nice and you're nice to all the people who you wait on. And sometimes you talk too much, which annoys the shit out of me sometimes because I'm like, hey, I need you. And you're just like,
I know.
Right?
That's the worst.
I know. I look over and there's like, where in the hell is Izzy? And she's at a table going,
it's a delicate balance, It's a delicate balance, like trying to
don't try
relate to. For real, you get it when you're a bartender. It's like it's a delicate balance between trying to relate to a customer, and get their friendship, and then also just like fuck off and do your job.
So this guy's like 70-something years old. And he says what to you?
Okay, so yeah, he says, I have 7 $100 bills in my pocket. Would you like to service me somewhere back there?
Like somewhere. In the stairwell? Like where would this be happening?
Would you like to service me? With his eyes looking back in the direction of the little boys' room
And that's
the
when
little
Izzy
girls' room.
went,
And
No.
I said, no, I'm really good. I mean, these guys were so weird that guy was slowly speaking to me all evening long. I mean, whether it was like, oh, should I get this?
I did hear
or
him talking to you.
Should I get that? I don't know. Or if it wasn't that, it was like, well, I have a house in Tahoe, but I'm from New York. And then his friend was just like, I mean, like, his friend was obviously like embarrassed of him.
Well, the thing is that everybody should know who's listening to this and watching this is like, she said no. Okay. So that's the
period.
good thing. Okay.
End of story.
Yeah. Let's just get that. But that's the one thing that drives me crazy about some customers is like, they can see that you're busy, but then they want to stop you. They want to stop you and tell you a story about their life, where they're from,
four
what they're
other
doing.
tables.
And I'm like, I gotta go. I have things to do here.
What do you think I'm doing?
It's really interesting that you grew up in Omaha, but like, I don't really, know what else to say.
I love it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for telling me about your story. And I do sometimes, even though clearly love to chop people up, have to cut them off. And it hurts me. It hurts my heart. But when it comes to gentlemen like that, I'm like, no, but please. I have other things to get to. I have to go and do my job, which is serving tables.
Well, your first job is to pull your shirt up a little bit because this is a G-rated show, okay?
I'm sorry. The year is 2008.
What's going on here?
The year is 2008.
Dominic, what is happening here right now?
A lacy on
kidding.
top of my...
You're fine. Sorry.
I'm giving...
Sorry. No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
No,
you're not.
I'm just protecting you, really, and protecting our show.
Dad,
really.
Stop. You're embarrassing me.
Just don't do that. Just no.
Well, that's okay. Well, and going back to the cackling, like I can identify with somebody who cackles, like at a bar. I be cackling, if you will. When there is no more than like you and your four other friends and nobody else and then a nice couple and then a couple of other, I don't know, it felt like she was cackling over the music, that she had to like make a point.
Yeah, like I kind of felt bad for so Murph and Sue came in, are two of our most wonderful regulars who we love, and they're here a lot. And they sat next to them and I was like, are you sure you want to sit here? They're like, well, these are our seats. I'm like, okay, good luck.
I thought that they
had I remember Murph looked at me and goes, whoa. She said, yeah. There's a lot going on there, Because all you heard was, and they're talking over each other and like all this shit. But that's life in the bar, right? So
Indeed.
We can sit here and complain all we want, but we do have the people that we really love and that we really like, and our great regulars.
True.
Like Danny came in today, he drinks Stella, and he's got some stuff going on, and like it was just so great to see him and like give him a hug. I love hugging our regulars and seeing them, I'm a hugger. Dom knows this. I make him uncomfortable sometimes. He comes in and I'm like, Dom, give me a hug.
Oh, but you've been here longer than I have, so you have wonderful relationships with regular patrons.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
Great, and I love them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do.
I don't have the long-term relationship set up just yet. However, there was an individual, Mike, who came around. He was sitting at like 3 or something like that, or 4. He got apple cider, and then he got like a double shot of Kettle. I don't take shots of vodka. How many people do you know that take...
people who come in and take shots of warm vodka? You got to worry about them a little bit. You know what I mean?
That's how I felt. I was like, do you want it chilled?
Are you just...
It's like, no.
Are you just desperate to get fucked up right now? Is that what you're looking for?
And he was like...
Kind of like when you ordered your 6-ounce shot of Malort.
Yeah.
At a friend's bar close to us. Right? Emily?
We needed to have on Izzy, because off Izzy, off Mrs. Hung.
So this is on?
a whole different brand.
Wait, this is on?
This is pretty on. This is pretty on.
I don't know.
I mean, if you want to have
right now or
fully
not?
on, I will need to have lashes on. Period. End of story.
Well, I mean,
If you want fully on Mrs. Hung, I would like to have a pair of lashes on.
okay.
But I mean, for the love of God, we talked about this. I'm still in my clogs.
Yeah, we don't want to look. Tom,
Don't look at them.
Don't pan down to the clogs.
Do not pan down to my clogs.
Because they look like she found them in the van of the douchebag that she dated for a long time.
Oh, he was such a douchebag. But I did get them for a whole $9 from the Unique in Bridgeport.
Okay.
And you know what? My knees don't hurt. My
do.
knees don't hurt. My back don't hurt.
Mine do because I'm old. Let's talk about your biggest douchebag that you've dealt with over the past, few weeks here.
Okay.
Because here on Bar Banter, we have to nominate douchebag of the week.
Douchebag de la semaine.
Right.
Yeah, absolute Telmont. I
would have to say it's a $700 man. No?
Surprisingly.
Dom, would you agree with that?
Don't. I mean, it's the $700 man. At least he offered me money.
Okay. Oh, it's the guy who's always like, you're the best server of all time. I'm going to take care of you.
Oh, let me take care of you.
Yeah. And then
I think douchebag de la semaine is, I'm about to start World War III, right? With these Europeans because they do not know how to tip. Oh, you know who he is not of this week, but let's pretend that he is of this week. It doesn't have to
be of this week.
My douchebag that comes to my mind all the time is this British guy. Him and his partner.
You're really causing a war here right now.
I'm about to.
Yeah.
I'm about to.
Go ahead.
He came up to the service station to, close out. I was like, thank you very much. I was very busy at the time. And I closed him out and he did a line through the tip, signed his name, handed it back to me. And I said, hey, was there something wrong with the service?
Probably.
Just for future reference, just so I can do better in the future. Was there, whatever. I'm usually used to like a 20% tip. And he said, no. It was outstanding. He literally said outstanding. It was outstanding. It was really good. And I said, well, I make under minimum wage because my salary depends on tips. So if you don't leave a good tip, for me, that means I did not do a good job. And
do you know that you did a good job?
Yeah.
Do you just assume you did a good job?
I know I did a good job because I always do my absolute darndest with the table. I really do. Je fais mon possible. I always do my absolute darndest with the table.
Stop talking Spanish to me.
I know. It turns you on too much.
I know.
And I was like, so yeah, I told him that. And I was like, well, if you don't want to leave a tip, like it is what it is. And he was like, nope.
He just walked out.
And
he
really looked me in the eye and said like, nope, I don't want to. And I said, okay. And he walked out. And yeah, it was like a $50 tab, which is like not much. So I'm like, you could have just left me like $5 or something. Like you could have just, what is $10? But he was like, yep, nope, absolutely.
You have to expect that. I mean, I had some people of the same ilk in today and I just didn't expect anything. It just, right,
exactly.
You go in sometimes expecting nothing.
Sometimes, right.
My guy was, it was a couple days ago, and he was cool at first, seemed cool, and just glommed onto this lovely lady just sitting next to him, and he just sidles up next to her, and he just starts talking to her, and she's on her phone, just doing her thing, and then he's like, hey, and then I'm watching this, and I'm like, this is not going to go well for you, bro. This is not going to go well for you.
What are you doing?
And so he's like, why don't we just go get a drink after? I'm like, well, I'm thinking to myself, you haven't even had your first drink here, but clearly you're not right. So and then of course you can't touch people you don't know at the bar.
Period.
Okay? You
End
can't
of story.
do it. You can't put your hand. You can't put your hand
people.
on someone's shoulder and like rub it down
No
to their
hitting,
elbow.
no touching,
So I just
unless
said,
you know each other.
I just looked. I said, no touching.
Period.
And she doesn't want to talk to you. And he's like, how do you know, bro? I go, first of all, I'm not your bro. Second of all, don't touch her. That's it. And
Just
she's
don't.
like, thank you. I'm like, well, come on. So I'm like, you got to go. It's my common story in a lot of these shows is like, you don't touch women and then you don't act inappropriately, or you're not getting a drink and you're not staying in this bar.
Like would you please?
That's
just
like,
act appropriately.
He's like, all right. And he like slides over like,
oh no. Oh, I have to go slide over to the next chair.
I'll take a Glenlivet 12. I go, no, you won't.
No, you
won't. Because you got to go, bro.
You got to go, bro.
You got to go,
since I'm your bro. Yeah,
it
fucking sucks, man. I mean, it sucks. Like
we talk like we hate our jobs, but we really don't. Because like, there's more
there's
positivity.
A reason that we're still doing it. And then also, I mean, we were, briefly discussing this when we were at the bar right next to us. That
allegedly,
I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. So there was kind of this like, what I call an intermediate disturbance hypothesis. Yes.
You've been doing this since you were 13?
I started in the service industry.
You live in the south of France?
I lived in Washington. I don't know how it was legal. I don't know how it was legal. I remember doing my first Washington State. And I did my first food handler's permit when I was 13. I signed my first W-2 when I was 13, and it was in an old folks home. So I've been doing this forever. And you just become used to it as a girl. And I mean, geez, Pete's being a 16-year-old working in, the place that I worked at in high school was where I learned how to make coffee mostly. But then they were like a bar it was on an island, which is suburban. So nothing stayed open super duper late. But that's where I learned how to serve absinthe. And I would hang out with there was my BFF. There was a burlesque dancer, and
wow, we're all over the place right now. We went from serving coffee to drinks to absinthe to burlesque dancers. What the hell is next?
She was so cool.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, she was such a cool lady. Yeah, and we would do an open mic on Thursdays and Friday nights. So I would work Thursday, Friday, Thursday nights, Friday nights, and then I would work Saturday, Sunday, in the morning, because I lived so close by. But yeah, I was under 18 the whole entire time.
Just gonna let her go. Just keep going.
And yeah, I learned how to.
So you lived a real life teenage Moulin Rouge.
Period.
Okay, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that changed your life.
I was telling you about this.
I know that.
I was telling you about this.
I know.
We need to look up the specific date of when Moulin Rouge came out. I believe it was after 9/11, but
Dominic will find it.
I know it was 2001.
You know why? Because he's a genius.
Dom?
Yeah.
Do you know what month that it came out?
I
know it was nominated.
I don't think it matters right now.
No, it does, because it came. I think actually won Best Picture.
Best nothing, because I hated that movie.
Yeah, no. Baz Luhrmann, they advertised the fuck out of that for the Academy Awards, and they were nominated for Best Picture. 2001.
2001.
So in February of 2001.
Best costume.
Oh, yeah.
That's not really an Academy Award. That's
no.
You look really nice.
It was the Academy, but it was nominated for Best Film.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Look it up. Look it up.
Best production design.
Was it not nominated for Best Picture?
No, it was not nominated for Best Film.
Don?
No. There's a lot of awards.
Listen. So.
Okay, you know what?
In my little mind.
You know what? Scale it back.
So.
Scale it back.
How dare you?
How dare you? This is our show.
This is my show.
Oh,
what are you
yeah, I know
about?
you think it is a little
What are you talking
head.
about? So
I get it.
I was a youngin' in 2001. My mom said, you can watch movies that are PG-13 or R-rated.
When were you born?
If it's sexy stuff, 94.
Oh my God, I moved to Chicago when I was 94.
I know, I heard you saying that earlier.
Oh, dear Lord.
But yeah, so like that movie came out. I watched it. I saw The Can-Can Dancer.
You realize this is Bar Banter, right? Now we're not doing movie reviews, right?
I would love to do movie reviews. And also, yeah, sorry, Bar Banter. But it's not Bar Banter movie reviews when I'm working
It could
the
be
bar.
whatever you want it to be. It's fine.
Bar
It doesn't
Banter
matter
is
to
movie
me. I mean, we
reviews
can talk
when
about
I'm
whatever you want.
behind the bar.
I mean, favorite movie of all time?
That's a very, very difficult question. However, I just watched.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that?
Do what?
However.
I do a bunch of different accents all the time. It's because
Really?
I don't feel comfortable with myself.
Oh.
And so I do a bunch of different accents. So because I'm a theater kid.
I'm not a
so I
psychiatrist right now. I can't
So
do
I
that.
just I use a bunch of different accents because I'm like, oh, it's a bunch of different people. So it's The Brood.
Totes adorbs. The Brood?
The Brood. It's a Cronenberg movie. Absolutely love it. It's either The Brood or Pet Sematary, or I really, really love Raw by Céline Sciamma, a French filmmaker who also did
Why do I feel dumb right now? I don't know any of these movies at all.
I mean, there's a million movies out there
I know.
that I have not seen either. But those are my babies. I love horror movies. I love body horror. Anything with a ton of blood in it, with a ton of gore. That's my favy. And that's what I love to frighten my customers with.
Yeah, well, you do a good job. Yeah.
What can I say?
I'm proud of you.
What can I say?
Proud of you.
The people, they come to me and they're like, oh,
honestly,
hi,
though,
hello.
I'll tell you this. The people love you, right? They do. Because you have a gift of gab and you know what you're doing. You know? You seem like you know what you're doing.
I don't.
And I give you credit. Like, I put you, like on par with my favorite server who will remain nameless.
It's very kind
Where'd
of
she
you.
go?
I would hope so. I'm always trying my darndest.
And you always help out. You always help out and do stuff.
I really try, because I know you're like Jeezy Pete's when you were slanging those cocktails. I
feel like I'm too old for that shit sometimes.
Every single time I was like, I should just put in a pitcher of vampire margaritas, right?
You know my favorite thing? You know my favorite thing that happened? One of my favorite things that happened today was when we got slammed by all those women and everything in the cocktails. And Dom was upstairs working on, he was learning our new POS system. And so he was detained.
Yes.
And I go, dude, we were slammed. He goes, yeah, I saw. I'm
for real,
okay. But he was he was getting schooled on our new POS system that's going in. So that's
which is a whole other.
Which is I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that.
I don't deal with that at all.
And it's we're slammed, and it's so silly because it's we are slammed because I am walking back and forth and giving you one cocktail at a time.
Yeah, I know. That's what we talked about earlier. It's
if I had been I need 8 vampire margaritas all at once.
Right. Okay, the blood's coming to you, baby. Don't worry about it.
Period.
Right?
Absolutely. Right. I'm slashing my wrists and it's all coming out to you. But to go to the table every single time, yeah, what can I say? You got an empty drink? I'm gonna offer you another drink.
But
so it was every single
That's why
time.
you make the big money, baby. That's why you cash it in.
What am I supposed to do? Just go and see somebody with an empty drink and not be like, would you like to get more drunk?
I know the people at OCs do appreciate having you and your personality here. And I will say that sincerely, even though I rip on you a lot. I think you do a great job.
Oh my God, you don't even rip on me a lot. Thank you.
Well, I do when I talk to Dom.
Okay, perfect.
Behind your back.
Perfect.
Right?
Rip on me all you want. Rip on me all you want. You meet me and it's God, she's annoying.
Okay.
But
one more thing is, we have 2 more things. One more thing is, one of my favorite things happened to me again. And I bring this stuff up because I just don't understand people and their lack of social skills, right? A guy walks in today with his wife and he's I said, hey, how are you 2 doing today? He goes, Miller Lite. I go, and she punches him in the arm. She's like, he just asked you how you're doing today. He's like, yeah, but I want a Miller Lite. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed. I'm like, I'm sorry for you. It's okay. It's no big deal. He's like, what's your problem? I'm like, I just asked how you were doing. Like, how's your day?
I am not a robot.
How are things going with you?
I am not something
and
that
now
you
at
could
this point, I don't give a fat rat's ass how your day was, because now here's your Miller Lite. Shut the F up.
Yeah,
with a smile.
Whatever.
With a smile. Just go. Don't want to piss.
Here's your Miller Lite.
Don't want to piss anybody off.
Anything else? Anything else I can get for you?
So
Cool.
So apparently his wife had a talk with him, and then I came back, and he's like, "Hey, I just I was like, yeah, I didn't hear anything you just said, but it's cool, man. Like, we're fine. Like, you know, maybe you're having a rough day.
Comeback and apology is always so weird.
Like when your wife makes you apologize to the bartender, like there's a problem there. You know what I mean? It's okay though. I find entertainment in it every day. And I get joy out of it every day. Don't you? Don't you like meeting new people and talking to other people?
I do. You knew it. I was in a rough little hump today. And I'll be honest.
You were a little shit today for a while.
I was a little shit. I was a big old sad boy today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like there was something in me. And like it wasn't even like a physical headache. It was like an emotional headache. I was just like a big old sad boy today, man.
Yeah. You know what? I even played ABBA for you on
I know. And that was so sweet of you.
And you didn't give me a man after
and you
midnight.
Literally did. And I was like, thank you. I hate it. I was just having a hard time today. And like, and you say, like, you're such
it's like
an
being in another relationship and it's non-sexual and it's just like, would you just stop? Like, I don't want to deal with your fucking drama right now.
But I wasn't even like telling you about anything, but it's so terrible because I can't help it that I just like ooze emotion. Like I desperately try not to like put it on you.
Really?
I really do. But I just like
Dom, do you think she's dramatic a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, I'm the drama mama.
Dom's not saying shit right now.
I'm the drama mama.
Nope.
I'm not gonna put it on you. I'm not gonna be a little bitch to you. I'm not gonna.
I was
but
trying.
You can feel it.
First of all, I was trying to compliment her with the customers, and now this turned around and like you were a little bitch today, though, for a while.
No, and I was. Yeah. I was really feeling it.
I was like, go eat a
Snickers,
goddammit! Like seriously, like enough
is enough.
No, for real.
And I was trying to, no, and you felt it, and I mean that just says so much to your ability to read other people's emotions, because like I was really trying my darndest.
I'm an emotional vortex in a nutcase. What are you talking about? Like,
oh my God. No, I really just like I ooze emotions to people, even though I can't help it. Like
I get
all I was doing was my job. You know?
Yeah, here's the thing.
I was doing.
She's like this. She's like this. Like at the service station, she's like this.
Look.
And then the people come in. She's like, "Hi, sit in where you want."
How's it going? Oh my God!
But that's a sign of a good server. You know what I mean? That's a sign of someone who
we're on showtime. Let's do it.
It's like if you're having a really bad day and you have a play or a movie, or if you're on camera doing a report or something. Like you can have the shittiest day in your life, but you need to turn it on.
Well,
like,
and that's why I'm so glad that you like invited me onto this podcast. Because
I didn't have anyone else to be on.
Well, right, exactly.
No, I'm kidding.
You should be so lucky.
I know. I am lucky.
I am
very lucky. You know who's going to be lucky? Not just the Bannister from Rocky Horror.
Oh, that's embarrassing that I did not get that.
That bombed. Dom said it bombed.
I can't believe that I didn't get that because
Okay, there's a scene in Rocky Horror Picture Show. She's like, I'm lucky, you're lucky. And she's sliding down.
I'm lucky.
And they're like, the Bannister's lucky.
Lucky. Can we just, like, do we do?
No.
Oh, that's very embarrassing for me.
Yeah, it should be.
I just lost my, like, gay theater kid status for not getting that.
Here's the lucky part. The lucky part you're going to have is I'm going to get up for a second. So you just talk to Dom for a second.
Okay. Dom. Dom, I do just need to mention to you, you have fantastic eyebrows that I'm very, very jealous of. They are so thick and beautiful.
See his hair. He has.
Well, you have beautiful.
Why?
Oh,
Why?
you're in charge.
You need to see Dom's hair. It is luscious curls.
He has beautiful, luscious curls.
All right, Dom.
And I bet you don't do a darn thing to them. And they're just all au natural, baby.
Dom, you perm my
You got a
ass.
perm. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Dom, you're rolling, so you're going to come right over here and we're doing a malort shot to end the show. Not yet. Not yet.
Don't edge me.
Dom. She just said I edged her.
I'm sorry.
Dom, get down here.
So naughty for the podcast. Thank you very much, Dom.
We want to thank Dominic Stark, who does all of this
Please.
production and makes it happen. We want to thank you, Issy Hung, for being on the show.
Thank you.
I'll consider.
It was content.
It's good content.
It's good content.
Cheers, boys and girls.
Content is dead.
All right.
Cheers, boys.
Love you all. This has been Bar Banter.
It's been Bar Banter. My name
Chicago.
is Issy Hung.
Bar Banter, Chicago, from 29 West Hubbard at the third floor studio.
If you want to come talk to us IRL, I guess you have to come to O'Callahan's and we'll talk to you like this.
Are you done? Bye.
Yes. Bye. That was so fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, baby.
Mwah. Thank you so much. Oh, that was awesome.